Have you ever sat down or been jolted awake all of a suddenly and you find yourself questioning, why haven't I done this? Why haven't I called this person? Why haven't I gone to this place? Why haven't I had this particular thing done? I think I've been down that road so many times, and that's what I'm reflecting on today. It's like I'm out to show this green tea some real things. Like I'm drinking this green tea. It's healthy. I mean, now I understand when people say, get off sugar and you'll see the difference. I'm imagining myself drinking this green tea for 2 weeks. No sugar, zero sugar in my meals. Sounds like a plan, eh? Let me reflect upon it. While I reflect upon that one of sugar being replaced by green tea, that's really a very solid plan, and that's what I'm going to do. But today, I want us to talk about that one thing that holds you back, that slows you down. Hold you back, let's say slow you down. I'm talking about this big word. Even the word itself is so giganomous. Procrastination. Procrastination. Procrastinating is basically pushing forward what you would have done now. It's delaying that process. Next week. You procrastinate on it, and next week will come and you give it another week and say, yeah, maybe this week is a bit, you even have reasons. This week it rained, you think it even rained in the house. You blame rain and say, next week I'll get it done. And before you know it, you've actually gone through a whole month and haven't got it done. That is procrastination. Whereas lazy means not doing it. You don't have the drive. You don't have this one, you've postponed it. This is different. So let's talk about procrastination. And the reason why I went that direction, the reason why I wanted to reflect upon procrastination is because I am the biggest procrastinator. That one. I'm not the biggest, but I have really, really procrastinated several times. You know where you sit down and you say, but Kari, totally serious. Like seriously, you've been thinking about this thing for like over a year. Why do you keep pushing it forward? And honestly speaking, many times I've asked myself that question and I have no answer. I just remain angazi kabisa. I don't know why. I have no reason why. But in the moment when I procrastinated, when I pushed it forward, I had my reason. My reason was, I don't feel like doing it now. I'll do it next week. But you see, that's the thing about life. You don't know how long you have. You have no control over your time in terms of this journey in life. You have no control over how long you're going to walk this journey. What you have control over is that which you go through every day, the things that you do, your daily, But if we think about life and say, okay, you're given the opportunity to be in this world, but but you don't know how many years you have on this earth, but yet you're procrastinating. Like I sat down, every time I would push forward, there will be this thing that comes up and then shakes me up. It is either someone who has passed on or something. Maybe someone lost a big job or someone did what, that just shifts my thinking back to this issue and say, okay, now, you know what? I'm going to change. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And then the same way I've always been saying, I'm going to start the gym. I'm not lazy. I just procrastinate. I said I'm going to start after the Christmas festive season and all that. But we're yet to see that. But with the way I'm going, maybe it will work. So procrastinating and being lazy are two different things. But actually the first time I ever had the word procrastinate, it's because it was reflected or referred to the Bible. And in that context, when we were having that conversation with the person who was breaking it down for me, they just mentioned how procrastination is a sin. And of course, we all know we don't want to be sinning, eh? You don't want to be going around sinning, committing all these sins all over, and one of them being procrastination. I'm like, nah, procrastinate. Surely I can handle that one. I don't have to procrastinate. But you find yourself procrastinating 1 year, 2 years, 3 years down the road. For example, apart from the workout thing, I had always told myself I will start my own. It's been so many years that I kept saying I'm going to start my own production house. Like so many years ago. I would always think about it, but I saw people come and go. But somehow I always within creating the reason why I didn't do it then, I always created a reason why it was better to do it, say, next month or next year. I would say, okay, so by next year, I would have saved up enough money to buy this, to do this, or to handle the other. So I basically am making a pretend plan, because that plan is not there. I know that in my mind, I want to do something. However, the will to take me away from there, take that first step, is zero. So I procrastinated, but you see what I realized in that I got the opportunity to continue polishing up on the ideas that I was building. But also on the other hand, I kept telling myself, maybe it's God's way of telling me to hold on, that He had a plan. That's why I was procrastinating, because the time I would ask myself, but how is that even possible? I'll help other people with their plans, their ideas, but when it came to mine, I'd just be hanging in the balance. So I spoke to a good friend of mine. Now, who also, I will not mention his name because I don't want to out him, but he is a procrastinator. He even says it himself. It's like, I procrastinated this thing for so long. I procrastinate all the time. So I realized I'm not alone. There's many of us out there who procrastinate. If I had not procrastinated for the number of years that I did, I don't know what would be different. I don't know whether I would have that production house, like maybe grown and gone to established branches and offices, different places. I don't know. Or maybe it would never have materialized, or I don't know. It's different things that make me wonder the procrastinating. That's why I keep asking myself, why did I always delay these things? And every time I try to find a reason, I still arrive at the same place. Mine was, it didn't feel like the right time for some of these things. But for the other things, like say the gym, I would say outright lazy. Like I couldn't move one foot in front of the other to be able to go to the gym. So I realized then, okay, I need to find a way to help me. You see, if you look at the things that you procrastinate over, it could lead you to observing something, or observing a pattern, if I should say. It may be that when it involves things to go out, to step out and go to meet people and all that, you procrastinate. And I think I do that a lot as well. Or it may be that when it involves spending money, you procrastinate, you don't want to spend that money, or whatever it might be. If it is going to face your fear in terms of maybe you're going to go and you need to go and meet your in-laws, or you need to go and meet, you procrastinate, you keep pushing it. I feel that the most important thing, first of all, is understanding what is stopping you from moving the first foot. Because procrastinating means delaying, means pushing things for next time, next week. So what is it that stops you from taking that first step? And rather, instead, push it ahead and say, next week. For them, they're logging off until Monday. Almost feels like in that moment you procrastinate, you're like, no, I'm not doing any of that right now. I'm pushing it until Monday. Question though is, will you do it when Monday comes? Will you do it when January comes? Or you've been there procrastinating, saying, hey, January we're just fast. Yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. You have been doing that or saying that for 5 years. What is preventing you? What is holding you down? I discovered what was holding me back, and I'm going to share with you. I think this kacha is jamming me. I have a problem with gastritis. So green tea, I think some green teas, I will not mention the brand, but so I think it's being a bit corrosive for me, but I still like it. I'll find another alternative for green tea. Anywho, so I was telling you how I had to figure out why I was procrastinating, why I kept pushing everything forward. Not for 1 week, not for 1 day. I had procrastinated for such a long time, for years, until you sit down and you're like, yo, I'm seeing the gray hair, it has started coming. And then you realize the gray hair has shown up and you still haven't done what you had set out to do years ago. So for the one part that I kept procrastinating about, actually for the most part, the things that I procrastinated over are things that I needed help with. I needed help. I felt I couldn't work alone. Let's say, for example, for the gym. You keep procrastinating and saying, I'll go next week. Okay, I'll go and buy some nice gym clothes. No, gym way no, go Tonya. The way my son say, no, you have dripped. All the drip for the gym that you have. Showing up to the gym, a whole different story. Never showing up to the gym. But you see, I realized, I said, you know what? If I can't come to the gym, but in the back of my mind, in me, I want to work out, let the gym come to me. As long as you can afford it, let the gym come to you. In form of an instructor. You get an instructor to come home to help set that pace. Because then you know, if I start with an instructor, chuemu wiki ngabiri, kajuze. In 2 weeks, 3, you'll have gained momentum. Chances are, if he lets you be, you probably continue. Then if it came to, okay, so that one I handled. I said, okay, the reason why I can't seem to get myself going to the gym is because of this. So I reached out to an instructor. That is that. It came to work. When it had to do with the projects that I was thinking about, that I had been planning and working on, I kept saying, but why am I procrastinating for this particular one? And then again, I realized I needed another head to bounce everything off. I realized I cannot be alone. I cannot do everything alone. You cannot be creative. You're creating. You're also, it would be too much. So I guess that's what it was for me. I was holding out because creatively I had done my part. I create while walking, I create while sleeping, I create while cooking, I create while talking. As I'm talking to you, I'm probably creating content in my head. So yes, so I thought to myself, I'm a creator. I've got a good head for creation. I'll create good content. But you see, when it comes to execution, I will need so-and-so to bring that story to life. And I can't do it. So then I realized that is what has been holding me ground. So it is because I do not know how to handle the next step. And the next step being the execution. I am stuck there thinking, I know what to do, but how do I execute this? Brings me to this point. Go back, sit down, and ask yourself, what things do I procrastinate over? What is the frequency of that procrastination? Are you always procrastinating, or is it like seasonal? Like once in a year, there's some period where you just keep procrastinating. Find out what it is. What is it that you need to be in place for that to fit and just take you forward? Find that out. Discover yourself by understanding yourself even better, by setting yourself out there. Go bounce off this. Get someone that you trust, someone that you know can be your voice of reason, and talk to them. That's exactly what I did. I decided to talk to someone whom I knew would tell me as it is. And he did. And I woke up and I realized, what I needed actually was just that. Someone to shake you up and give you that push, that nudge, just a little nudge to get you moving. So, are you I wish I knew the word procrastinating in Luganda. It's a word that I'm imagining. Yeah, I'm going to find that Luganda version. My Luganda is Lugandaring. If you know what procrastination means in Luganda, give it to me. Put it in my comments because I want to share it with the people. Procrastinating is a sin. It's almost like a curse. It's almost like it keeps you from moving. It keeps you from living life. It keeps you from growing. It keeps you from venturing to wherever, however far it is. So, are you procrastinating? Do you know what it is? I told you procrastinating is delaying that which you would have done today. So instead of doing it today, you say, I'll do it next week. It's not the same as laziness. Laziness, you don't even lift the hand. You don't want to know. So let's figure the procrastination out, because it is you finding out the main cause of that procrastination, whether it is fear, or it is insecurities, or it is the timing, whatever it may be. First figure out, why do I keep procrastinating? And then which type of things do I procrastinate about? Or, just find out. You might find there's something about you that will have you change things so that you don't procrastinate anymore. You're able to move forward. Find out why you're procrastinating, then find out, and then find someone to talk to. Very important, so important to find someone to talk to, because, and I'm also hoping that even as you find someone to talk to, you don't procrastinate over that as well. It's like you're there, you're saying, oh, Banange, I need help, I need, say, I need to talk to somebody. But even that action of going to talk to somebody, you procrastinate over. So you never go to talk to the person. It is a bad thing. I told you, especially that we don't know how much time you have on this earth and you're there wasting it procrastinating. How sure are you that next week you'll be around? How sure are you that you'll be around next year? Why are you delaying it? Why not do it now? And I kept trying to think about it. I kept trying to figure out why. And I discovered it. So I started that journey of feeling that now every time, what I do is when I think of something, if I think of doing, say, for example, I want to go and do, maybe I want to do an event. And actually, the procrastination also for me, especially at certain times of my life, was because of insecurities. And the insecurities were me feeling that I am not adequate, feeling that I may not bring my A game. And that is like, for me, that's like a big fear, not being able to bring your A game. No. I want to bring my A game on everything, be it relationships and work. I want my A game. So the procrastination could have also been that I was feeling, I said it, inadequate. You feel like maybe you will not be able to give it your best, or the fear to fail. But then also there's just fear. You fear standing in front of people, you fear talking to people, so you delay it. Courage, you're saying, hey, you know what, let me wait, I'm going to look for the courage, build it all in, and then I can go and talk to that person. So I discovered what it was that was holding me back, that was preventing me from taking my action as I should have. But again, after you discover why you're not doing what you're meant to do, or after you discover that, you need to immediately take action. Otherwise, you still will be procrastinating. That word is such a big word. So, when you see there's also a difference there. There's also another thing that I would like to point out. You could procrastinate, but then there's also you delaying. I'm not going to use the word procrastinate there. There's also you delaying this particular thing to be able to maybe polish it up, or to be able to perfect it, or maybe to be able to get to a certain point, or maybe someone you're waiting for, so you want that to happen, or it could be a different reason that is making you push this to the next time. You're saying maybe, but if you think about it and say it is money, chances are you're going to procrastinate for another year or so, because money doesn't come the way we want it to come. So even if you push it for next week, it may not come next week. You may not have money next week. So if it's financial, that's really procrastinating. That's you waiting. I've learned that you can do certain things without money. I have learned that procrastination is not an excuse for not doing certain things, or lack of money is not an excuse to not doing certain things. So yes, first of all, I said, establish why you're procrastinating, the things that lead you into that space, become the procrastinator. And then afterwards, you have to decide between you and say, okay, there are certain things you may even procrastinate over, and you just need to do away with them. You don't even need to be spending time thinking about them. That part about talking to somebody is very important, because if I hadn't spoken to somebody, I think I'd still be in the same place. I've had people talk about the word procrastination and what causes procrastination, and I think that what causes procrastination is the same thing that you feel when you procrastinate. When you procrastinate because you're probably feeling anxiety and all, and you're not sure of yourself, but then even when you procrastinate, it also leads to you feeling guilty because you didn't do the other thing, and then anxious because you didn't get it done. You know, you imagine what procrastinate. I'm here to get, because I also just discovered, not just discovered, but I got eventually to discover and understand what procrastination truly is. Now, imagine procrastination is you're able to do that thing. You can do that thing, if not all the way, to a certain degree, but you're pushing it forward. It's almost like saying, I can help this person, but I won't. I'll help them next year. I can write this book. I'm going to write my book, but I won't write it today, or I won't start this month. I'll start next year. You understand? And then next year comes, you push. You are delaying that which you can do. Osobola okukikola. Obuyinza obulina. Oyinza okubaako nga waliko just obuntu obumu n'obumu bwetaaga. Kye nabagambye, you find somebody to talk to, so you're not alone. And you let them understand and share with them those fears that keep you, in that area, that space of procrastination. So yes, talking to someone is very important. But also understanding the causes in your life. Forget about just me saying it is the guilt, the anxiety, No, it is about you looking deep within you and figuring out what is it that keeps me here? What is it that is preventing me from doing this? I know of someone, a certain lady, she later on became a friend of mine. Now, she has a business. And this business is one of the most, is one of the most difficult businesses to venture into. But in her mind, even when she told me about it, I know she's a go-getter. She's a very aggressive, hardworking woman. In fact, she's the one who introduced me to the China route when I used to be a Musubuzi. That kabozi I'll give you for another day, when I used to kusubula China. Musanga mu streets of China ngate musobola kuntegeera. But she, very hardworking woman, but of always putting off that business venture. And I didn't understand why she kept pushing it off. She had the money, she already had the idea. Everything seemed set to go. All she needed to do is plug and play, as in move. But she didn't do it. She always kept pushing it. And I didn't want to be antagonistic, asking all the time, why are you not? You have an opportunity, but So when I asked her twice, and she kept saying, yeah, and first she would create a reason. A very flimsy one, where you're also trying, it's almost like you're trying to see the reason, you can't see it. You're like, what? What are you looking for? And you're like, but wait, you can still start with this before you get the other. And she still was rooted where she was. Now, years later, when we started talking about where we were in life and how far she had gone, the venture had started, and she then told me why. And the reason why for that particular venture was because the person she was dating at the time, she feared. Feared, okay. Why do you fear the person? And what has that fear got to do with you procrastinating on this venture? She says, well, I fear that I may lose him if I start this venture, because chances are it will be very successful and he won't be happy about it. When I heard that, I was thinking, girl, you would have been a millionaire now. You were thinking, and If someone loves you, why would they not want you to succeed? Like, I didn't get it. It didn't make sense to me. But then, it then took me back to the other issue where self-love. If she loved herself enough and not giving herself out 199.9%, then you would know, let me do this venture. If this man loves me, he will stand by me. He will help me, hold my hand. We'll do this together. I don't think you should put anything on hold because of a relationship. If it has to do with work, if it has to do with your future, no. Your lover, your partner should be able to understand that and should be in with you on that one. This episode, I'm thinking what to do for the next couple of days, and I will not procrastinate about it. Probably go and take the boys swimming. We'll probably go and find a good basketball court and shoot some hoops. I already cut my hair, so that one is not. So let me see the other things that I had put in the pending tray, and let me get on them. Let me find those other things, and I will not procrastinate anymore. If you're my friend or you know me and you think that I procrastinated on something, come on and call me out. It's time for me to get onto that saddle, whichever it may be. As for you, I hope you find your way. I hope if you're lost in the maze and you don't know which way to go, you don't know how to continue, please, you're not alone. Reach out. You never know. We could have ideas that could help you out of that maze. You're not alone. Again, I say. So for now, I'll continue to say, God bless you always, you and yours. And to the young people, no glove, no love. Yes, wear that condom if you should. Seriously, if you should. And for you that's going to have a good time out there, don't drink and drive. Wear your seatbelt, the usual things. But the most important thing that I'm going to now start drumming is please let's take care of our environment. Let's do that. And we'll tell you how in due course. Otherwise, God bless you. Till next time.